Hello everyone and welcome to Noodle Journey, your destination for in-depth reviews of the instant noodle universe. And today's review, love them or hate them, is Momofuku's brand new Sesame Miso Noodles. And this isn't just a new product, but it's an entirely new direction for the Momofuku line of noodle products at large. Keep watching and I will give you the entire rundown. But before I get into all that, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Please follow me on social media, all linked in the description below, and you can get notified when new content comes out. And please check out noodlejourney.net, the official Noodle Journey website, for even more reviews, plus a complete searchable index of all my video reviews, plus monthly noodle news, and so much more. Anyway, yes, a new Momofuku flavor has finally emerged, along with some major news about the brand. First and foremost, I need to thank one of my viewers for emailing me to let me know about these coming out because they started showing up during my hiatus and I wasn't completely plugged into what was happening at Target stores at that time. But yes, you can buy these primarily in Target and other stores like Sprouts and Whole Foods where Momofuku noodles are typically sold. I got these Sesame Miso noodles in a 4-pack for $9.99 from Target. And now the rest of what I'm about to discuss was what I wrote about in my September noodle news update on noodlejourney.net. So if you already read that post, you can skip ahead here. For the rest of you, Momofuku made a major announcement back in September that in response to consumer feedback, they were making some big changes to their noodles. And they said their noodles were getting a quote-unquote upgrade and a new look and even better taste. What does that mean? Well, the first thing you might notice here is there's no longer an Asha logo on this packaging. Asha was the original manufacturer of Momofuku's noodles. These are now made in Korea instead of Taiwan. Google tells me that Asha does not have a manufacturing facility in Korea, so that means that these noodles are no longer made by Asha and that Momofuku has found a new partner. The second big change is they're promising 20% more sauce per pack, I guess because people had trouble coating all of the noodles with the amount of sauce provided in the old packs. The third change is the price per serving. Like I said, these are currently selling for $10 for a 4-pack. The old ones were $12 for a 5-pack. Did you do the math there? While these are cheaper per multi-pack, they're slightly more expensive per individual pack than they used to be. But they do have 20% more sauce, so you could argue that the change in price is kind of a wash. The final change, the one that hurts me the most personally, is the spicy chili flavor has been completely discontinued. And that really sucks because that was my favorite flavor. But I'm guessing that must mean the flavor wasn't a good seller. It was too spicy for the average customer maybe, because the official announcement of these new noodles made mention of 0 heat in this new recipe. One more surprising thing and I'll get on with it. Back when I reviewed the spicy chili and the sweet and spicy flavors, the packaging at the time teased a ginger and scallion flavor that never came out, and that was based on a signature dish from Momofuku's restaurants. Guess what flavor is still not part of this big product line overhaul? Anyway, so spicy chili is gone. In its place, we've got this eye-catching new sesame miso flavor. So let's get right into reviewing this so we can see how these noodles stack up to Asha's. All right, so inside we've got these flat, medium gauge broad noodles. And I guess it's pretty obvious. Here we've got a miso sesame sauce, and here we've got sesame seeds. The noodles are still air dried, but now contain more than just wheat and salt. They've also got sunflower oil, olive leaf extract, whatever the hell that is for, and some preservatives. This sauce is a blend of soy, sugar, sesame paste, miso, rice wine, garlic, and black pepper. All told, what you see here is a pretty reasonable sodium hit of 1120 milligrams. So I'll go cook and drain these noodles, and I'll be right back. All right, here's the noodles freshly drained, and honestly, there is nothing about the cooking process or the aroma or the immediate apparent texture of these noodles that makes me think that they're in any way different from the Asha noodles, which is a good thing because I really love Asha's noodles. So let's do the sauce. The packaging does say to shake this well. That smells really, really good. Okay, we'll give this a stir before the garnish. Yeah, that is saucier than they used to be. That's good. And if you're already familiar with Momofuku noodles, you might see that is a thicker sauce than I think any of the other varieties have had. So that's cool. And now the garnish. All right, and here's the finished product. It's not much to look at, but I promise you, if you love the smell of miso, you're gonna think this smells amazing. I know I do. Time to dig in. All right, starting the review with the noodles, I can honestly say these are indistinguishable from Asha's already exemplary noodles. Whoever the new manufacturer is, they nailed the texture of Taiwanese noodles. These are thick, al dente. I'm honestly relieved that they didn't screw up the recipe. 10 out of 10 for the noodles. Now for the spiciness score, the packaging does say there is 0 spice in here, and I do agree with that, but there is a dash of black pepper in here, and if you find black pepper in any quantity to be spicy, shout out to my Irish in-laws, you might think that this has a slight zing to it. But otherwise, Momofuku's packaging is correct. I think this is a 0 out of 10 for spice. And so now we get into the overall score, and this falls into the category of simplistic, but perfectly executed. This is more than just a bag of jazzed up soy sauce like I've complained about with some of the other varieties. This has a strong, rich, umami-heavy flavor with some excellent earthiness and nuttiness from the sesame paste, and there's a little bit of character from that garlic and black pepper. I'm not going to mince words. I think this is the best thing Momofuku has ever made. This bowl is going to get devoured when the camera turns off, no lie. I hesitate to give this a perfect score because it's no frills, but I can't find any fault in the flavor or noodle quality. And it does come with a garnish, which I've complained about before. This would make an excellent base to add in your own proteins and vegetables, but I think it's also hearty enough that it's a very satisfying meal on its own. And I've never thought that of any Momofuku flavor up until this point. I've always been of the opinion that they needed a little more help. So yeah, this gets a 10 out of 10 for me as an overall score. I think this is just an incredible flavor. Now there's one elephant in the room that I didn't address yet, and that's Momofuku's founder, David Chang, and has made some very questionable choices in the last couple years, mainly by bullying small businesses over his trademark of the term Chili Crunch, which is a trademark he himself purchased from another business several years back. Now you can do a pretty easy Google search if you want to read all about that. What he did was legal, yes, but it was also really shitty because Chili Crunch is a colloquial term for a garnish that many would argue shouldn't even be trademarkable in the first place. Like imagine if Heinz tried to trademark the word ketchup. It's complete bullshit. To make a long story short, I know, too late, he backed off his trademark bullying and issued a formal apology, but only after the public outcry was too big to ignore. To quote Rihanna, "I know you're only sorry you got caught." I have a little struggle with it myself. I buy Momofuku's noodles to review because I have kind of an obligation to evaluate these, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention all of that because I've called out other companies for shitty practices before. I actually bought a jar of their Chili Crunch to review right before all that copyright trolling started, and I never reviewed it because it felt too complicit. Yeah, anyway, bottom line, if David Chang's behavior and subsequent apology is fine with you, and you like this style of noodle and this flavor profile, you should buy these because I think you're going to enjoy them. If you don't feel comfortable rewarding a dickhead with your money, skip these and buy something made by Asha instead. That's all I'll say on the topic. If you do try these, let me know what you think. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next episode of Noodle Journey.